global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned.
Hello fam, welcome back to our channel. The issue of Nigeria staying together has been under debate for a very long time. Some persons believe that secession is the key. Some persons believe that the reason why Nigeria is glued together is because of its natural resources. Some persons believe that the issue of Nigeria still being together is simply because some persons acted in a cowardly manner, and now Nigeria and some part of Nigeria, regional part of some parts of the regions are paying the price. But be that as it may, a lot of persons have started talking, but a prominent old politician, he was actually in SDP, that's a Social Democratic Party, the then Social Democratic Party. He was actually the former secretary to the government of the Federation, SGF. I'm talking about none other person than Chief Olufalae. For some of us who are old guns, some of us who understand who he is, he was a strong politician the way back then, but he's speaking strongly and he's saying, look, Nigeria would have broken up a long time ago. It is simply because the Yorubas are the unifying factors. In fact, they are the glue, the bond holding Nigeria together to date. As an elder statesman, Chief Olufalae has said, Yoruba land is the glue holding Nigeria. And to him, he said, they have invested a lot to maintain peace in the country and therefore cannot be talking of secession. He's saying that they can't be thinking of Oduduwa, a Republic of Oduduwa. It's non-negotiable because they have invested so much in peace. He said, Falae, a former secretary to the government of the Federation, the Minister of Finance, Director for Economic Planning, and the Managing Director of a bank, has noted that when insecurity or crisis displaces Nigerians, they find solace in the southwest. He described the Yoruba land as some sort of refugee camp for Nigerians, where everybody is accepted and looked after. As in, anybody who has issues will just run down to southwest. Fiam. Let's continue. So according to him, we have invested perhaps more than most groups in the country, that's in Nigeria. So to prove my point, if there is a crisis in East today, that's Southeast, where do people rush to? The Southwest. If there's a crisis in the North today, where do they run to? The Southwest. This is some sort of refugee for Nigerians. This is where everybody is welcome, accepted, and looked after. That is the investment of peace we have been making from time immemorial. Yoruba land has been the glue that holds Nigeria. If the Southwest says it wants to secede, the Middle Belt will fight us because they see the Yoruba as the cement that holds Nigeria. He now went to the past. He visited history. He said, during the Civil War, when the Igbo went home, Governor Mobolaji Johnson looked after their property for them. Rents were in the bank, and when they returned, their monies were given to them to start life all over again. He said that is a fact. But the property they left in Port Harcourt, River State, were taken over by their neighbors, and it took several years before some of them were returned to their original owners. We have demonstrated that we are the most accommodating and we are the cementing culture in Nigeria. So there is no way we can secede. This is our home. You have heard Chief Olufalae. These are the old guns, are the old men, prominent men of the then politics, the then SDP. And according to him, that there's so much at stake. They can't possibly be living now. There's too much to lose. We have invested so much. Why should we go? So in all, probably he's looking at, why don't we look at the issue of restructuring? All the big guns, all the old politicians keep on saying the same thing. Let's restructure. Let's look at how we can make Nigeria what it is, but within Nigeria. So he's now looking at Nigeria as a place where we can just wear our thinking cap. And he's now saying, look, Yoruba is the cementing factor. Some persons are saying that's not true. That the reason why Nigeria is still staying together, he's saying that Yoruba, to a great extent, there's some sense in what he's saying. Yes, because I could still remember way back then, those Igbos that had properties in Lagos, then, I'm not talking about now, those they returned them to them. Yes, I could still remember a little. I could still remember. But then we're looking at now. Some persons are now saying that it's not so. That Yoruba is not the glue. Yoruba is not the cement holding Nigeria. That what is holding Nigeria is the land that is bringing the milk, the land that is bringing the honey. Nigeria is majorly an oil-producing nation. End of story. They have other resources, so natural resources. They're not harnessing it. It is monocultured. It is mono-economy. We are operating on mono economy right now, strictly on mono economy. We export oil, everything oil. And what is that region that brings that oil? Niger Delta. Now, if they say they want whatever, just notice that everybody is one way or the other. Some people say in Benin, Benin is part of the Yoruba. Benin owns some part of Delta. Some say Yoruba owns some part of Niger Delta. Everybody just trying to take one chunk or the other. So, but in all, if anybody wants to secede, everybody's eyes on that Niger Delta. If there's a way the North can even say Niger Delta itself is in the North, they will take it. Everybody just regionally, everybody just put in hands. So you just notice that just maybe the day Niger Delta as a group will say they don't want to go. Or they say, okay, they don't belong to Biafra, they don't belong to Benin, they want to be in the country. Nobody will allow them to go because we want to carry the whole milk and honey and go to where? He's not going nowhere. So basically, people, Nigerians are looking at him. Some of them have really responded to him saying, look, Niger, that is not the Yorubas. It's actually the oil. The resources that is keeping this nation is what is keeping the nation together. Those who are ruling do not want that oil to be. They don't want that oil to. They don't want to let go of the oil simply because it's not in their region. That if it was in their region, they would have by now. Nigeria would have been divided a long time ago. But because where it is situated cannot be claimed by them, so Nigeria must still stay together as one big family. But other people are already supporting him. A lot of Nigerians have also supported him, saying to a very great extent. A typical example is Lagos State. Lagos State is in fact. A typical Lagosian is a handful. Lagos State is no man's land. You can go if you have your money, you are doing legit business. You can have a lovely stay in Lagos. You can buy land, you can build your home. It's peaceful. Okay, yes, Nigeria have their issues here and there, but then it's peaceful. You can buy land conveniently in Lagos State without getting, especially it doesn't even matter where you're from. Just have a good source of income, buy your land, nobody disturbs you, just within the confines of the law, nobody disturbs you. But that cannot be said in some other regions. They won't permit it. They can be a big tribalistic. They can tell you, say that this part of this land is not for sale, it's for the indigenous. But in Lagos State, basically almost any part, if you have the money, just that they will hike it. If a small plot is for maybe 1 million, they can decide to sell it for 10 million. They don't care. So there's no sacred land for anybody. So to a great extent, he's correct. Yoruba, some part of Yoruba land, Southwest, is a no man's land. A typical example is Lagos State. But then there's still other parts too in Nigeria that is almost like a no man's land. Port Harcourt, Rivers State, to some extent, you can buy land, legitimately. But in Lagos, it's actually big. Everyone knows that. But saying that everybody runs down to the West simply because the West have most of the infrastructure working. Lagos State, a typical example, have all the seaport functional. They have all the international communities functional. They have all the embassies. If it's not in Lagos, that's Victoria Island area, then you are looking at Abuja. In fact, it's fairly recently they moved some to Abuja. It has always been in Lagos. It's in Lagos where you have headquarters of parastatals, government agencies, private companies, private agencies, paramilitary. They are majorly in Lagos. From banks to industries, majorly in Lagos. So most people have to drive down to Lagos, move down to Lagos for greener pastures because the economy, so to speak, is happening in Lagos. So if you're a businessman, you want to do importing and exporting, you have to pass through the seaport of Lagos. And the crowd is already there for you to sell. So why take it and start moving to whatever part of the nation where you won't have, as a major distributor, you have to stay in Lagos so you can make your money because the population is in Lagos. So you now see it's not because, so to speak, quote unquote, that the most peaceful, is because things are happening. Lagos is wired and structured such that everybody has to come in there. The seaports are they are functional there, their land, everything is functional there. You can't compare the seaport and everything functional in Lagos to any other part of Nigeria. Any other part. So that's why they see it as a nerve center, a commercial nerve center, because things happen there. Headquarters, if you're looking for a job, go down there. You easily get a job there, especially if you're very qualified, than any other place in Nigeria, except, of course, you have your connections. But looking at it legitimately, you easily will get a job there because there's so many businesses, so many companies that want to employ as compared to other states. But that's how we're going to wrap it up. I'm just trying to show logically why people basically run down to the west, southwest, particularly Lagos State. Not really, they may be peaceful. I'm not taking that away from them, but it's not because they're the only cement. The other persons too. If Nigeria Delta wants to go now, watch and see what will happen to Nigeria. Nobody will even allow it. We'll wrap it up there. Let's meet in the comment section. What's your take? Do you totally agree with him that Southwest is the cement, the glue, the unifying factor still keeping Nigeria, or else Nigeria would have gone off a long time ago? And if they leave, Nigeria will definitely, go into pieces. What's your view on this? Let's meet in the comment section. Don't also forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Stay tuned for more on